So we begin. As Jeffrey Palmer melts away, well, less melts away as more disintegrates, chunks of flesh falling off him as he staggers to his death on his staircase. John runs out into the night in search of some form of help to this situation. And John, you're on a street of houses, not too far from the library itself. It's dark. There's a slight gleam of a couple of street lamps. Not many people out and about in this area of London.
So no urchins or street children running about.
You can give me a look roll, see if you happen to chance upon a passing, useful-looking urchin.
I do succeed.
You look around, but the street is quiet. Apart from there at the corner in the pool of light underneath the lamp is, well, a rather scruffy-looking child, young teenager, who is stood there, sort of just not really doing much at all. But watching with some interest in your direction, I guess, as you came running out of the house.
You?
What, me?
Yeah, you. Do you need a bit of money? I have a message to send to someone. Can I rely on you?
Yeah?
It's in Whitechapel, though. Bit of a.
That's a long way.
I can make it worth your while.
All right, whereabouts in Whitechapel?
There's a clinic that run by some friends of mine that I need you to deliver a message to.
All right. Yeah, what's the message?
You would press for that.
Well, I can't deliver the message if you don't tell me what message is.
Tell them that Greaves is in need of insistence from Delphine. Patient is not well.
Right, you just want me to go all the way to Whitechapel to say that?
Yes, they'll know what I mean. And do I have any scraps of paper or anything with me I can write down?
Yes, I believe that John is the kind of person who would carry
a couple pages ripped out of a book or something.
I don't know where we are on pencils at this point. Pens, I believe we may still be in the pen and ink pot stage.
No
I presume you've got some
biros.
kind of writing implement that you can scribble a message with. We'll work out what that is in just a sec.
It's a biro.
It's the...
But I'll give him a pound, and there'll be another one for you when you get back.
Oh, pound?
It's important. Can I rely on you?
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay.
Going right away.
Can I give you the address?
Yeah. He looks just as blown away by you offering such a huge sum of money for this task.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I realize it's a lot, but the situation is dire.
Indeed. Ah, yeah, we've got pencils.
Okay.
Definitely. So, yeah. Scribble a message, and the lad goes running off into the night with incredible enthusiasm for this task.
Right. Well, after I send him off, I will head back over to the library.
So, as you head back to the library, by now it's night, and pretty much everyone else has gone home for the evening. The library is quiet and still. You're just leaving Palmer's house as it was, just leaving.
I closed the door but didn't lock it, so
Okay.
I can come back.
Okay, you head to the library then. quiet and dark. What are you doing here?
I'm going to go back up to the section where Jeffrey lunged out at both myself and the student, just to see if there's anything that needs to be cleaned up, blood stains, anything left, anything that seems out of ordinary, anything he might have left on his desk that would have suggested what happened or where he'd been.
Okay, give me a spot hidden whilst you're up there searching around his desk and such. That is a success. So as you search around, sort of looking about over his desk, it's very much in order, sort of neat stacks of books ready to be returned to the shelves, paperwork in order. On the desk there's a sort of faded photograph of his long deceased wife. In his drawer, though, you find 3 glass vials. One of them's empty and 2 of them have a clear liquid in them. They're sort of like medicine vials, essentially. None of them are labelled. There's no sort of medicine label on it. The only sort of symbol on it is on the lid, where there are 3 letters. It says GDD.
Okay. How are they? Just grease marker, written with ink. I mean, how is it written?
It's sort of etched into the lids themselves.
Okay. Does this remind me of the vials at the clinic?
You don't remember seeing any that looked like that at the clinic, no.
Okay. Any papers that might suggest this Scottish doctor? That
there's nothing about any doctor in his desk, no.
Okay. Are these vials look like something I could pocket without spilling things?
Yeah, they're sealed up. 2 of them with liquid in, and 1 of them not. They've all got like a little lid.
Right, I'll pocket those.
With 3 letters on it.
Okay. Yeah, I will pocket those. And is there anything left of like a disturbance? Papers, blood?
His desk looks undisturbed.
Right, in that case, then I'll close up and go back to Jeffrey's house and wait for Delphine, or at least for the messenger boy to come back. Figure I can do that in the time it would take him to get to Whitechapel and back.
Okay, you arrive back at Jeffrey's house. It's still quiet and still. There's still no sign of anyone else there, and it's probably another hour or so before anyone else arrives.
Okay.
When you hear the clop of hooves outside as a cab draws up.
Okay, so I'm in the house. Is there any way for me to peep out the window to see if it is in fact Delphine?
You peer out, you see a woman step out of the carriage. Looking down here at night, it's hard to be sure exactly who it is, but you see a woman sort of look around as though she's not quite sure where she is, and then walk up, and you hear a knock on the door downstairs.
Okay, then I will go down and open the door.
And you see, standing down the step, looking a little out of place maybe, is Delphine Delaney.
Ah, Delphine, please come in. Jeffrey seems good.
There is a child in the cab asking for £1.
Yes.
I told him that obviously you didn't offer to give him £1. But...
I did. It was important to get you here. So let me go take care of that. I'll be right back. Jeffrey had collapsed on the steps if you want to start having a look at him.
Take a look. She passes you into the house.
Okay, and I'll go out and pay the boy.
£2?
Yes, here you go. Thank you very much for your service.
If you ever need anything, messaging, delivering anywhere,
Do you have a name? I can look for you.
Bob.
Oh, that's highly unique. Okay. Thank you very much. No,
My friends call me Bobby.
Bobby. All right.
Bobby Bob.
All right, that makes you somewhat unique. All right. Thank you. And I go back in the house.
Okay, as you head back inside, you see in the dark of the hall, Delphine knelt beside Palmer's body. Well, he's dead, if that much is for certain. I fear even if you'd called me earlier, there was nothing much I could have done.
Yeah, he was in very bad shape when I got to him.
Yes, he sort of reaches up and you sort of peel back his lips to examine his teeth. Curious and curiouser. Some partial transformation, it may seem. Someone is attempting to hybridization on humans?
And I said, I don't know if this is of any interest, but I went to check his desk at the library, and I found these three vials in his desk. I'm not sure if they're related to this or not, and I pull them out and show them so that she can see and give them to her.
Well, I don't know what these are. It would take some time to examine them, to look into it. If I may take at least one of them away with me?
You can take all three.
Well, that one's empty. She hands you back the empty vial. So, if there's a few droplets remaining in the bottom, I would recommend not consuming them. If that's what this man did.
No chance of that.
Yes. Odd indeed.
What can you tell me what even remotely what happened?
It looks to me as though someone attempted to change this man's very nature, making him something less or more than human. But it did not work, and he seems to have destroyed him, the very nature and fabric of his being, losing all consistency.
So this was like, say, a failed experiment.
Potentially, yes. It's
because prior to this happening, he'd been out. I mean, he's very old, as you. I don't know if you can still tell or not, but he was a very old man, advanced age, and he came back from leave just recently, for a few days ago, and he was looking a much younger man, much better, remarkably so. And then he started having these outbursts. He bit the student, and then me when I went to confront him.
This was the man that bit you?
Yes.
Well, this is no threat to you anymore?
Not anymore, no.
Well, do you still have any more money in that bottomless pit of the purse you have on you?
I might. Let me check.
Would you be able to bribe our dear cab driver outside not to notice that we're loading a body into his cab and taking it to Whitechapel?
Let me look in my wallet and see if I have enough money for that.
Yeah, give me a credit rating roll. See how much cash you got on you for this nighttime excursion.
Apparently I do.
You came filled with bribe and payment money. No one really knows why.
A book.
Well,
there's money to be found in books.
I will take the body back to Whitechapel.
Okay.
And these 2 vials, I will see what I can find out.
All right. Shall we get a sheet and wrap him up in it?
That's a good idea. We don't want more bits to fall off.
Yeah. and less for people to see.
That as well. Okay. as you begin this process of moving this body, I will ask for one more sanity roll from you, because moving a body where bits of it keep falling off is a rather unpleasant experience. But an experience that apparently you are completely mentally prepared for.
Yep. I've seen a lot in the last in the last few years, actually.
Yes. So between the pair of you, you and Delphine managed to get Palmer's body into a sheet and loaded into the cab, whilst the cab driver solidly stares in the opposite direction into the night.
All right, so we get him loaded. Thank you for coming out tonight.
Yes,
Hopefully.
come see the clinic tomorrow. Bring... Well, I'll tell you what I've been able to find out.
Okay, what should I bring?
I was going to say bring your friends, then I realised they were...
They're not aware.
If you wish them to know too. But I will see you tomorrow.
All right, I will see you then.
Just off Myland Road. I'll give you the directions from there.
All right. Thank you, Delphine.
And Delphine and the dead body head off into the night.
I will make my way back to the society.
Okay, it's late at night by now. The lights are off. People have gone to bed. But as you knock on the door, after some delay, a rather sleepy-looking James appears.
I'm sorry for the late call.
Evening,
James.
sir.
Good evening, James. Sorry for the late call. I was just in the area, and I thought I'd just stay over the night.
Yeah, guest bed is ready as ever.
Right. Thank you.
This way. So, James shows you up to your room, offers to bring you anything, any food, water, drink, anything you might desire for the evening.
Thanks, James. I'm fine tonight. Thank you.
Okay. And as you settle down for a night's sleep, good or bad, and somewhere else across London, a serpent person disguised as a doctor's wife begins her work. I believe that brings us to the end of that day. The next morning, the 26th of May, the sun rises. And across London, several investigators are woken by beams of sunlight through their windows. Amos, in his... I believe you have rooms above your accountancy offices?
Yeah, it's really... I had the walls knocked down to make just like one gigantic type of loft for me. Save money.
And D'Angelo, you have a house in London?
He has a somewhat permanent stay at a tavern.
Like a hotel?
Don't
Rooms
know
in a hotel where you've got permanent rooms?
Yes, I don't know what they're called at this time period. That one.
I believe somewhere with sort of rooms is maybe like guest houses, hotels, forgetting the word for the other thing, but depends on how much money you want to be spending.
I have a very nice office, so it's good.
Yes. Maximilian, I can't remember where do you reside when you're in London?
I think I had a little flat.
Indeed.
Though I think most of the time I've been staying at the society.
Where would you have been this night? You've just recently returned to London from wherever it was you were before.
I've probably stayed at the flat. Not that many good memories from before I left. So I might show up at some point, but
Okay, so you're at your flat so far, being woken by the sun. And Mortimer, where's Mortimer living these days?
Mortimer's still living above his bookstore. He's closed his bookstore, but he is in the process of trying to decide where to move house to. So he's probably just having a quiet, normal day.
Okay, so you have rooms above your
Bookstore.
large personal library that was once a shop.
Yeah, exactly. My hoard of books.
Okay, so Amos, you have a guest expected around lunchtime. Is there anything you wish to do with the day before that?
You know, I would have browbeat my lousy secretary into finally doing their job and preparing for my guests and whatnot. That's what I would do. I'd also make sure to put on some of my finer clothing and, again, be prepared for my work.
Okay. D'Angelo, do you have anything you wish to do that morning vis-a-vis your ongoing investigation?
No, his first stop would be to go to the society to see if anything has transpired, and then he will see if he can learn anything about the woman Miss Green's been looking into.
Okay, so you're heading over to the society. Maximilian and Mortimer, so far you are not aware of anything untoward going on in London, but what would you like to do with your perfectly ordinary morning?
I think I'd visit the Pacific Club again.
Okay.
You know, there's new adventures over the last couple of years to disperse amongst the people. So, and a bit more money doesn't go awry.
Okay, is there anything you want to do in the morning before the Pacific Club opens?
I think I would just, maybe walk around London a little.
Okay.
Just a casual day.
Mortimer? What's your normal daily plan?
Assuming, what is it, a weekend or a work day, or we say
I believe this is a work day.
A work day. You'll probably just be getting ready to go to work at St. Thomas Hospital.
Okay. Thomas. Remind me whereabouts St. Thomas is.
It's near King's College, London.
Okay.
It's pretty much next to it.
I was confusing it with St. Bart's for a moment there. So yeah, you're heading into work. Actually, we will begin with Mortimer then in that case.
Okay.
As you head in to work, one of the more sort of junior medical, one of the junior doctors, I don't know what they call it this time, gibbies for you, as a senior and highly afflicted medical professional comes running up. Dr. Davenport.
Yeah.
Sir.
Everything okay?
There was I know you weren't here yesterday. There was an odd one. I know you like the odd ones.
Well, I've seen a few strange ones. I'm sure I've probably seen it before.
No, I bet you 2 shillings you've not seen this one before.
I'll take that bet.
Okay, come this way.
Okay, I'll follow him and see what he's got.
He leads you through to one of the wards where you see a very ill-looking young man leant up against a stack of pillows. He's looks very pale, very clammy, an arm swathed in bandages.
Hmm.
And I hit this is this young lad here is a student over at here at King's College. He got bitten, supposedly. Richard Hunter's his name. Sorry, escaped my mind for a minute there. This is Richard Hunter, a student. Got bitten on the arm in the library yesterday.
Interesting.
Now here's the bit you go here. What do you think he got bit by?
I don't know of any
Give you
aggressive.
3 guesses.
I don't know of any aggressive books, but what would I find in a library? I'll say a book would be my first guess.
No, not a book. Not a book.
Large snake will be the other one. Possibly an angry librarian will be the third.
Here's 2 shillings.
Well, I haven't seen this before, so it's okay.
He says he got bitten by an angry librarian. But look, he starts unwrapping it. I mean, come on. That is a snake bite.
That is a very large snake bite. Keeper, does it look very similar to the bite I had? Because I got bitten by a snake person, didn't I?
Make me a medicine roll, please.
Yeah, I got max damage when I got bitten by one. Left me unconscious. Let's see.
Yes. This looks almost identical to the wound you got being bitten by a snake person.
Does he seem to be going under the effect of, like, the poison, or...?
He looks like he's been poisoned. He's alive. He looks like he'll probably pull through, you reckon. But it's been a close one. He came very close to death, you can tell that much by looking at him, and it'll take him a while to recover.
Yeah, I've been there, unfortunately. Yeah, I've mentioned to the student, I've actually been bitten by something very similar.
Librarian, it was the old man.
You sure it's an old man, not a snake?
Yeah, no, it was a man. The really old one. Big beard.
Which King's College library?
Yeah.
I don't tend to go there as often as I should, but it looks as if
Don't go there. Don't go there. It's dangerous. They bite.
Yeah, it does seem strange, but you're going to survive anyway. But treat this as if it was a poison, like a venomous bite or something like that. I don't know how. You must have made a mistake. It can't be a librarian. This is not a person.
It was the old librarian, the one who works at the desk. He just...
Oh, it's okay. Don't worry.
Bit me.
You just relax. You'll be fine. I'll just try and treat him if there's anything extra I can do to treat it. No, understanding that it was a snake bite and I've had pretty much the same.
You can definitely make some recommendations for his care that will be advantageous to his recovery.
Would his condition be similar to the snake venom that I got? Like, because I got bitten, I don't know if they've got different types of poison.
He did seem quite the same. Like, definitely seems slightly different from when you got bitten, but you need like a
sample,
a swab and like really good examination and like proper.
Yeah.
Chemistry
I'm not going to treat him
stuff.
that much. Just going to try and make some recommendations, make him a bit more comfortable, probably redo the dressings and treat it as if it is a large snake bite, really, rather than just a vicious librarian with fangs. Well, this is a bit strange. I do know someone who works at King's College. I think might be the head librarian now. I'll go over there and see what he can tell me about this and see what's going on, because I'm just wondering if there's got snakes in the library. But for that sort of bite size, that's quite a big snake.
Well, when it came in yesterday, like, look, if you want to go over there and I'm not going anywhere near that library, having seen this. Like,
yeah, I've definitely had an interest in snakes recently and snake bites. I've been trying to think of a way to create an anti-venom to treat different types, but
I mean, that's not really something we often need around there. London was not really it.
You're very true, but I've heard some strange stories over the last couple of years of snakes being thrown out of carriages onto the high street and stuff like that. And people finding cobras in the alleys. It's just really weird. London's gotten
Not
strange.
you two.
But some people have been bringing back exotic pets, so it could have been one of them.
Look, you've been reading too many pulp magazines, and the snake plague of the East End is not real.
True. I'm trying to think how many snakes I've seen in London. Certainly not many.
Exactly. Well, I've got other patients here. Better get going.
No problem. I'll just finish up here, then I'll go and head to the library and see what we can find out.
Okay. If you head to the library looking for John Greaves, you are informed by the librarian who is working the desk, who is not an old man with a big beard, but a youngish fellow, who looks a little stressed, little harried. You're informed that Mr. Greaves has not yet come in this morning.
Oh,
and he said that messages to him. I don't know, John. Would you have sent the library a message to say that you were going to be over at the society, or?
Yes, I would.
Yeah. He says if we're looking for him for anything urgent, we're to go to 18 Grosvenor Square.
Ah, I know just the place. Whilst I'm here, do you know anything about a rather oldish librarian with a beard?
Palmer? No, he's not coming today either.
Oh, do you know why he was off?
I mean, it's probably because he bit a student yesterday.
Ah, yeah, that's what I'd actually come here to look into. It just seemed rather strange, the whole thing.
Yeah, he bit a student. Mr. Greaves sent him home.
Makes perfect sense. You can't go around biting students. You might catch something. But anyway, thank you for your time. I'll head to that address and see if I can find Mr. Greaves. But thank you for your time.
Okay, so you're heading over to the society. You probably arrive there sometime after D'Angelo, but not too long after.
Nope.
So, D'Angelo, you arrive at the society probably as John, you having breakfast in the dining room when you hear the knock on the door and James opening up. Oh, Mr. Williams.
Good day.
Good day. Mr. Greaves arrived last night. If you're looking for him, Miss Smith's out promenading. She's out. She's out doing something with Miss Plum. I can take a message for them if you're looking for them.
Oh, if you will permit me, I would like to speak with Mr. Greaves for a short while.
Pardon?
If you will let me speak with Mr. Greaves.
Oh, yes.
for a
He's
little
just
while.
through in the dining room. If you would like some breakfast too, I can get Mrs. Brownlee to bring some up.
Oh, hospitality is wondrous, but I am all right.
Go on, D'Angelo. Come sit at
Good
the
day.
table. Can I get anything for you?
No, though I was not aware you lived here at the home.
Generally not, but I was in the area late last night, taking care of, snake issue, and it seemed best to just stay here overnight rather than making my way all the way back over to my flat.
If it is what you needed to do, who am I to question it? I was hoping to see if there was anyone here with a bit more knowledge on the docks, but I was intending to go and see if I can look into what Miss Green needed me to do, if you'd be interested in joining me.
I would, but I have a bit of business to take care of today. So when were you planning to do that?
Oh, it is early morning, so probably not until closer to nightfall.
Okay, and I might be able to go with you then.
Is there a problem?
Well, there's less of one than there was. We had an incident in the University Library One of our older librarians bit a student. So I sent him home, and the student went to the infirmary. I went to check on him last night, and he had, dissolved. He was still alive, but in the process of just changing from human into something, a snake, possibly. I called for Delphine Delaney, the the doctor in the clinic in Whitechapel. She came over, and she did some preliminary investigations. I have to go to see her today to find out what she's found out overnight. We discreetly sent the body back to her clinic.
Do you are sure that this isn't a case of rabies or some other?
Definitely not rabies. Although I would like to get Dr. Davenport's input on it if I can run into him. I haven't seen him for quite a while.
Speaking of which, can I interrupt this for one moment? Maximilian, could you make me a look roll, please?
Of course.
As you're going on your lovely, peaceful morning walk around London.
Starting great.
Your walk is lovely and peaceful. Would you pick a park for this?
Again?
Would you pick a park or literally walking the streets?
Yeah, probably a park.
Down towards the river, you're walking through the lovely grass of the park. When suddenly you feel something. At your ankle. And you need to make me a constitution roll, please.
I'm wearing very sturdy boots, I guess.
You know what? Yeah, you are. You feel something, and you look down. You just feel it through your boots. You feel a slight pang of 1 point of damage. You look down. There was a snake fastened on, trying to bite your ankle through your boots. Here, in London, in a park, it's a snake. What do you want to do about it?
Well, I'm trying to grab it on its behind its neck. I mean, I'll learn how to deal with these things, right?
Yeah, give me an animal handling roll, please. You have successfully wrangled the snake, yes.
All right, where am I going with this? We have a zoo in London, right?
Yes, the London Zoo is in St. James's Park.
Well, I guess that's where I'm working now.
Okay, you're taking the snake to the zoo.
Yeah, because that's clearly where it belongs, and there's no other way a snake shows up here.
Okay, so holding the snake in your hand, you're heading towards London Zoo, drawing some interesting looks from people as you pass by. Mummy, why does that man have a snake? Oh, I'm sure he just works for the park, keeping things in order, darling. Alright, yes. As you take your poisonous snake towards the zoo, I'll get back to you in a moment. Mortimer, you said you were heading over to the society.
Yep, hopefully.
Well, there's nothing to get in your way of arriving there.
Okay, yeah, I probably would have gone by the streets to avoid being bitten by these strange snakes that are everywhere at the moment.
There is no such thing as the London snake plague.
So people keep telling us, but I'll knock on the door anyway when I arrive.
Ah, Dr. Davenport.
Good morning. How have you been?
Good morning, sir. Very well, thank you. You see none of you for months, and then everyone turns up at once. Mr. Reeves and Mr. Williams are just through in the dining room.
That's good. I've been quite busy for the last few years, but yeah, it's Mr. Greaves I'd actually wanted to speak to. Something strange has happened, but
Yeah.
I'll discuss it with him. I'm sure he'll be fine with it. Where about is he?
In the dining room.
Oh, thank you very much.
Shows you through. So just as you were saying that it would be useful if Mortimer was here, the door opens. Reveal none other than Dr. Mortimer Davenport.
Well, speak of the doctor, and he should appear.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
How have you been?
I asked first.
Oh, I've been busy, been given a few strange cases recently. One about someone being bitten by a vicious attack librarian, apparently.
Oh, apparently we have a great deal to talk about. Please come
Yeah.
sit and let's talk. This may take a day.
Good to see you again.
Nice to see you again. Keeping busy?
Best I can.
Best thing to keep your mind occupied and not worry about the more unpleasant things that are out there.
So yeah, are you just telling Mortimer everything that you already told D'Angelo about the events of last night?
Yeah.
Yesterday?
Now that is a story and a half. I've recently treated someone, a student from King's College, who had turned up
Richard
with
Hunter.
a bite injury.
Oh, Richard Hunter.
Yes, that's the one. He's quite ill. He'll survive. He'll be fine. But it reminds me of a time I got bitten by a snake person. Or a serpent person. I don't know how they prefer to be referred to. I'll have to ask one of them. I should be correct, really. I mean, I don't want to be rude to them. But yeah, it looks like it was a snake person that bit Miss Librarian. Are you sure they weren't a snake person disguised as a person?
I am sure. He was very much a person. He was Jeffrey Palmer. He was one of my librarians.
The bite is definitely a snake one, but I'm wondering if he was somehow being changed into a serpent person somehow.
Well, I called on Delphine Delaney, and she came over to Jeffrey's house to examine the body, because when I went to check on him, and he was in very grave condition but still alive. By the time I was able to summon her and then get back to the house, he had expired.
That's a shame.
But she believes that he was in the middle of someone was trying to create a hybrid of some sort.
Yeah, can't see that working. I've done autopsies on people, and I've been involved in an autopsy on a serpent person, and the biology is very much different. So any sort of hybrid, I can't see it working myself. But
it very much didn't. He was falling apart, dissolving into pieces.
It'd be like trying to join two things together that won't join together. It'll just fall apart, every part of it. At least that's my professional opinion. I could be wrong, but do you know what caused all this?
Well, as I was telling Delphine, he'd been out for a bit on leave. He was very old and not in very good health. But when he came back a couple of days ago, he was in much better shape, looking very much younger and much more vital than he had been for years. And then he got into the altercation with the student. He seemed irrationally angry. He even bit me on the shoulder. And then I sent him home just to get him out of the library and away from other people. But he went rapidly downhill after that.
Well, you'll have to check him over, see what treatment he went under.
I found some vials in his desk here at work. They were labeled GDD, I think.
Probably the initials of the doctor, more than likely, or a clinic he got them supplied at.
I sent them with Delphine.
If your idea, your theory about transmutation is to be believed. I wonder if our situations are connected. Miss Green's concerns are missing individuals would make for reliable test subjects. You're transient and tend to not be missed overly much if they were to go missing, as your librarian recently made new friends or encountered new individuals.
Well, but I was talking with him about what had led up to him, having this outbreak. He said he'd been under the care of some Scottish doctor, and I need to find out who that is. He was getting, Jeffrey was starting to get incoherent.
He said it was a Scottish fellow he met in the pub.
Ah, okay. The Scottish fellow that he met in a pub. But he, like I said, he was incoherent mostly, so I didn't get a lot of information out of him about it.
Keeper, in the circles of academia, has there been anyone with odd beliefs involving transforming people into snakes, giving snake qualities to people? Anyone with those, any theories related to that?
You can make me a Cthulhu Mythos roll to see what you know about this subject.
Oh, well, I okay.
Well. Looks like someone's been doing some reading over the last 3 years. D'Angelo, you know that there are several texts that talk about the serpent people mixing themselves with humans or attempting to mix themselves with humans in various ways across history. Serpent people are known for their strange alchemy or science, depending on how you want to view it and at what time in history the text was written. Most of the older texts would view it as alchemy or magic, where they are known to twist beings into other forms and themselves and create hybrid abominations.
It is possible. There are stories, if you've heard of them, of people attempting to combine themselves with serpents. The stories of the Philosopher's Stone, for example. But if there are people with true knowledge doing this, we should be very concerned. I don't think the Scottish have anything in particular with those legends, though. It's more of a Greek or maybe Middle American thing.
Yes, it occurs in Greek myth, in Mesoamerica, all around the world actually. It's one of those universals of serpent myths and myths of great serpents everywhere from the Americas to Australia even. There are tales of serpents of all sorts of kinds. There is actually one odd myth you've heard of Scotland of some lake that had a snake of some sort in it, some sort of serpent monster. But who knows? There are a lot of old English myths about worms and serpents as well.
Did any of my reading tell me how to spot a snake person by chance? I don't know.
You know that Mortimer swears by the sniff test. Descriptions, I mean, you've met at least one, because you've met Delphine Delaney. Some of them can use all sorts of arts to conceal their appearance, whether it be their serpentine magics, or, from what you know in the texts, simply wearing a human skin, which is quite commonly how they disguise themselves. Popped up with a little sorcery, but quite often the basis of their disguise is wearing a human skin. So if someone's face falls off, they might be a serpent person.
We should be careful. It is believed, as far as I know, it is more of a skin-based transformation, not a mental one. So, if anyone, behaves strangely, doesn't remember things that they should remember, talks about things as they shouldn't or wouldn't, perhaps that would be something to keep an eye out for.
Well, from what I know about the snake people, are very good at disguising themselves. I mean, one I encountered some time ago had a strange venom they developed, or a poison or something, that basically removed someone's skin. I actually have a sample of that. I haven't been able to analyse it yet. But whether they wear a person's skin to replace them, but it doesn't sound like that has happened in this case. It sounds like a transformation. But it does sound as if both your problems could be related. I mean, as you said, they could be getting these people as test subjects to experiment on. So the question is, where do we start our search?
I'd have to go see Delphine today over at the clinic so she can tell me what her results are.
I think I'd be interested in that conversation as well. I'm trying to recall. I did tell you that she was a snake person, didn't I?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm fairly certain, but I suspect their personalities are much like humans. You get good people and bad people, and I suspect she just seems interested in helping people in her area. So
Right.
I have no issues with her. They seem to be working for the community and helping people. So I don't think she'd be happy if I pointed out that we realised she was a snake person. But
I think she had no problem talking about it with me. So
that's good.
So I think she knows that we're on to it.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, it'll be interesting to check the body, find out what's going on with this substance, and see if we can trace. D'Angelo, you mentioned about the people disappearing. Is it all in a certain area, or what part of the city?
The East End.
East End, I believe.
This librarian, he doesn't happen to live in that part of the city, does he, in the East End? Just wondering how he met the person.
Well, apparently he met them in the pub. So,
any ideas which pubs they were drinking, or?
Would I know this from my years of dealing with him?
Oh yes, you know that he only ever goes to one pub. Palmer, he goes to his same pub. He sits on his same seat.
Okay.
Gets very upset if someone's taken his particular seat at the bar. But yes, he can always be found at the Queen's Head.
Okay. So, I think the Queen's Head is regular.
So we have a few different options to look into. But
Well,
where to begin?
Well, as you consider your options, we're going to go back to St. James's Park and the London Zoo and a man with a snake. Maximilian, carrying your snake, you approach the front gates of the zoo.
Hello.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning. I found this in which park again?
Let's see, Hyde Park.
So I found this one in the Hyde Park when it tried to bite through my boot. I don't think it should be out there. And I think you're the best.
Morrison, there's another.
Another?
You're the third person this week that's brought us a snake.
Did somebody put like a crate of snakes in the boat and
We don't
ship it
know.
here?
We don't know. This is Mr. Morrison, herpetologist.
Hi.
Oh no. All right. Hang on. Let me just pop it in the box.
There you go.
There we go. They are not our snake.
No.
Just
no.
to make that clear, our snakes are all accounted for.
Well, I guess somebody brought some over then.
We don't know what's going on, but this is, as I said, the third one this week. We keep getting reports of people finding snakes. I'm going to be honest, you're the first person that's brought us a live one. The rest just keep turning up with dead snakes and blaming us that
Yeah, I mean, I've been around and I know how to handle them.
well,
Probably
handy.
better if normal people don't grab a probably poisonous snake.
Oh, that one was definitely poisonous, yes.
Oh well.
Yes, I would recommend perhaps, you know...
Yeah, I'll go and let them check out the bite.
It bit you?
I mean, yeah, it's it bit the boat. I'm not sure if it got through that. I'll let somebody check it out.
Yeah, you should probably get that checked out somewhere. Yes, you're very lucky. That was a Russell's viper. That one.
Oh,
Nasty, nasty, nasty thing. Nasty. You don't want to get bit by one of them.
well, I mean, at least it didn't get through to me because otherwise I would probably not have made it all the way here, right?
Hope they are. All right. Well, yeah, you should go. You should go get it looked at anyway, just to be on the safe side.
Sure.
Yes.
Which hospital would you recommend for snake bites?
King's College.
King's College?
They've got a doctor there who's working on something to do with snakes. I don't know. We got a message the other week asking, saying that there's some doctor trying to work on a book about snakes, and they wanted some snake information. So it was,
sounds like the best place to go. Yeah.
Daventry. That's it. Dr. Daventry at King's College Hospital.
All right. I'll have the I'll up the name by then, but that's fine. Yeah. And I'll leave him be then.
What's the world coming to? Okay, so are you heading over to the hospital?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, as you head over to the hospital, Amos, having a wonderfully snake-free morning.
Yes. No snakes here.
And
Math.
your secretary comes in to let you know that Mr. Abernathy is here.
Oh. Thank you, Gregory. I'm glad you're here bright and early. Given all the work you didn't do yesterday, the exorbitant amount of money I pay you. What?
I did tell you it was my grandmother's funeral yesterday.
No, you didn't.
Oh, did
You
I not
absolutely
tell you
did.
that?
No. My condolences to your grandmother. And you.
I did leave an... Oh, maybe.
No. Gregory.
Oh,
Gregory, I was
I
friends
did-
with your father. You're horrible at this job. I'll always have a place of
yeah.
employment for
Having
you.
been friends with his father, you do also know this is apparently seemingly the third grandmother that Gregory has lost.
Gregory, I need to be honest with you.
Yes, sir?
You're not very bright. You're incredibly lazy, and you're a bad liar. Other than that, you're a stupendous worker. Now,
Thank you for the
Go
compliment, sir.
go over there. There's a coloring book for you to do. Fucking, God damn it, Gregory.
Okay. He goes over to his desk.
After you bring Abernathy in, God
yeah.
damn, Gregory.
It goes back and fetches Abernathy, and then goes to his desk.
Mr. Abernathy.
Sorry, I was sat downstairs. The secretary said you weren't in, and then
He's an idiot. There's no polite way to put it. He has 3 brain cells, and they're fighting for 4th place. The boy is just marvelously stupid. Thank God his mother was flexible, and that's all I'll say about that. Mr. Abernathy, we have some work to do. And he can tell I am supremely pissed at Gregory, but I'm trying to calm myself down because I hate lazy people and I hate liars. Oh, enough of that, Mr. Abernathy. You have a great work ethic.
of course, yes, sir. Sorry, so broke my train of thought there for a moment. Yes, I brought over a draft of the legal documents for.
Might I review them?
Miss Bell, yes, take a look.
Keeper, do I need to make... I only really care about the money. I don't particularly give...
If you care about the money, make me an accountancy roll. If you care about the legalities, make me, I believe law is a skill.
I have... Could I do both? Because I have a 35 in law and...
You know, give me a roll on both. Let's make this a...
Alright, I'll do the law. I'll just look over for anything super glaring. I fail, so I'm like, he's a lawyer. He's probably not wrong. And then accounting, hard success.
Yeah, there's definitely some tweaks required on the accounting side. Like he's a good lawyer. He's not a good accountant.
All right. Hold on. All right. So there are a couple things here. This is illegal. This is horrible. This is a poor. I don't know how you got the additions wrong. Somehow this is Gregory's fault. This is semicolon goes there. Also, this is a gravy stain. Abernathy, really?
You was doing it over dinner.
You have. It's fine. Hold on.
I was doing most of this last night. This morning I was looking over I brought the LES accounts over to look at as well, but maybe we can.
Who is the LES?
Oh, sorry. You know, I mentioned yesterday you said you were looking for.
Yes.
Okay, so I am the lawyer trustee for. They call themselves the London Estoteric Society.
Sounds lovely.
They're a lovely bunch. A little eccentric at times. Spend money on bizarre things. Donate money. The accounts are a little bit of a mess. Some of them donate money. Some of them are spending money. Who owns the money? Who owns the house? Is.
Oh God. It sounds like there's some billable hours to be found there.
Oh, definitely.
that's
well, if you're interested, I can introduce you to the rest of them. Well,
that sounds
whichever
fantastic.
of them there are. They're a very nebulous group. Some of them, I have at least sort of 10 of them on my books as partial ownership, but some of them I've not seen for years. Some of them might be dead. Some of them have left the country.
My God.
Several of them have just vanished. No one knows if they're missing, presumed dead. In fact, I don't think any of them. Oh, no. There's a couple of them we definitely know are dead because of that Augustus fellow who got killed in a landslide in Iceland.
Oh, was that Augustus Green by any chance? Yes.
Augustus Green.
Well, you see, he killed somebody who owed him money. Basically, his murders made me a small windfall. Indirectly.
Yes. Anyway, so he's definitely dead. Oh, and then there was the magician fellow. He was executed.
Oh, Excipius or whatever his name was.
Yes, he was one of them. Poor Miss Carter. No one knows what happened to her really.
They seem to die a lot, but
she's probably dead. No one's seen her for a long while.
The law allows me to bill 1.5 hours for a din. Okay, I get it.
Yes. Anyway, there's one of them might be dead, but
That's amazing. I can absorb their personal accounts too. Yes. Indeed.
Well, some of them definitely have money that might want to raise. Some of them less so. Most of them are decent working professionals. Like,
good.
Do you know the author, D'Angelo Williams, writes all those books about, cults and...
No, I only read history books. I'm not a child. But the thing of it is that I must be honest with you. this is just the sort of thing that I need to lock me into retirement. And if some of them are poor or indigent, I do pro bono work anyway.
There is one thing before I introduce you to them.
They're not related. They're not related to Gregory by any chance, are they?
No, it's more of a warning. As I said, a lot of them had died or disappeared, and terrible things seem to happen to people that get near them. So my father used to work for Sir John Wallace, who was
a great man.
The mind behind this, yes. Mysteriously murdered in his own home. My father died not that long afterwards. It's potentially very lucrative and interesting, but
look,
there's a small element of risk involved.
That's fine. Listen, sometimes I let Gregory cook for me. Okay, I risk my life all the time. I asked him to boil water one time, and he came back with horse meat. I don't fucking know. God. Anyway, the point is, I need enough money to keep my daughter cared for, in case her husband's business does not do well. It's doing well now, but I look to the future. I measure things in decades. My estranged son needs all the financial support he can get. He still blames me for his mother's death, and it breaks my heart, but I understand why he feels that way. It's hard for him to understand what I could and could not do. I need to make sure that I live a comfortable life, as my health is not the greatest. And then I need to be able to keep doing the charity work that I do. So I need wealthy clients. I need clients with billable hours. And if they're strange, they're strange.
Well, they're numerous, billable, and strange.
They're not bad people, though, are they?
No, they're mostly respectable, yes.
Very good, very good, very good. All right, let's get this. Let's see. Something just came to mind. Gregory.
Yes, sir.
Remember when you screwed up my boiled water?
I misheard you.
Where did you find that horse meat, by the way?
I had to go to the knacker's yard. Look, I misheard you. I spent all day looking for it. You know how hard it is to find somewhere to buy horse meat in this part of London?
No, I've never had to do that because I'm a sane person, Gregory. But
look, sir.
Look, just come here. Let me pay you for the week. Go here. Just come here.
Oh, pay you. Sorry. You know, my hearing's not the best.
Yeah, but you heard payday. That's fine. Here,
yes,
take this.
Sir.
Take this. I'm gonna put a little extra in there. Don't gamble this. If you gamble this, you know what happens. That's right. I'll put a thumbtack on your chair when you least expect it. You'll sit on it because you're not the brightest, okay? Now, here's the thing. You'll always have a job as long as I'm here. Your father was a great man. He helped me out when I needed it. Just take the day off. No horse meat, okay? Also, please apologize to Mr. Abernathy. You told him I was dead?
Sorry, no. I told you weren't in.
Okay, all right.
I'm sorry, Mr. Abernathy. He snuck in whilst I wasn't looking.
I beat you here by an hour, Greg. Anyway, bye.
That would explain it. I wasn't looking. I wasn't here. Anyway, so I'll go.
Gregory, take a couple crumpets home to the missus. Okay. And lock the door this time.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm tired of chasing out the raccoons.
So there were no raccoons in London.
Gregory.
Those were foxes.
Go get some more horse meat.
Yes. Wait, sorry, sir. Sorry. Did I mishear you that time?
Gregory, I'm thinking about slapping you. You're making the
anger
rage.
I'm going, sir. I'm going. He heads off.
I've never actually punched anybody or harmed anyone in my life, except the one time when Gregory tripped me down the stairs because he wanted to do a cartwheel. Abernathy, right. I'm used to the strangeness. That's the point of
yes,
it.
Anyway,
let's go meet with this horrible woman and get done with this.
Yes, let's get this done, and then we will go see the society. Let's go.
Okay, all right.
So, yes, as Amos and Cecil Abernathy head over to see Meredith Bell, as D'Angelo, John, and Mortimer plan their next moves, and Maximilian gets to a hospital, that is where we are going to take a quick 10-minute break. We're back here in 10 minutes. See you soon. So, I think we'll pick up with Maximilian just quickly, just to check in on his foot situation as you arrive at the King's College. No, it was St. Thomas. That's what the hospital was called. Couldn't remember the name of the hospital earlier. Pretend that you were directed to that hospital. And yes. Can I help you, sir?
Yes. I have been bitten by a snake, and I need somebody to look at it. I don't think it got through the boot, but just in case, I'm still feeling fine, so it shouldn't be that bad.
And Dr. Leash was one of your favorites. Let's have a look. What snake bite did you say?
I'm gonna, pull off the boot.
I've got a betting pool going for how many snake bites we're going to see this week.
Oh, seems like plenty. You're
either the second or the third.
Oh, I mean, they've been the guys at the zoo had like 3 snakes, and I brought a live one there.
Maybe they went to a different hospital, or maybe they didn't actually bite anyone. But yes, we've got you're the second definite snake bite, and then there's the other. Well, no, not really. It's a snake bite. I'm saying it should count.
I mean, it got mostly the boot, but
yeah, mostly the boot. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. But yeah, try not to get bitten by any snakes or people who bite you. That's my
people who bite you.
Oh yeah, we had So, did you know librarians bite?
Okay. Please, again.
Oh,
how do you get from a snake bite to a biting librarian?
And librarians biting people. You would not believe it.
And how does the snake bite factor in there?
Because the librarian had fangs, like a snake. I had it.
Okay. Well,
I'm planning to write a medical paper about this, so.
I guess I'll need to go and get a drink now.
Yes, there's Queen's Head around the corner is great.
Perfect. And I'll leave, and I'll go directly to the London Estoteric Society. Because if John bit somebody, I need to know why.
Okay, so you head over to the society where D'Angelo, John, and Mortimer, had you come to any decision about what you wanted to do next? Had you made any plans?
Well, we know
I
that
suspect we were probably catching up quite a bit on other events as well, so I won't say we have dawdled, but we would have just not ran out straight away, so we'd probably be sticking around, I think, to give people a chance to turn up and get everyone together.
So, so you're still trying to make your decisions when you hear the door open again, and James, somehow less surprised than when Mortimer turned up, going, Mr. Johnson. The others are waiting through in the drawing room.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. Something's clearly up.
Clearly there is. You always know to be wary when everyone turns up.
I was very happy the last 3 years. And I'll go in.
Yes, you head through to the drawing room.
Max.
Johnson.
Oh. So, John, who did you bite?
Oh, so you've heard. It wasn't me. But it was one of my librarians. He bit one of the students. Well, the student seems to be fine. The old librarian, Jeffrey, not so much. He's, sort of half snaky, half person. Kind of.
All
some
right.
mix.
So you've been working together with a snake person the entire time?
Entire time of what?
Well, I just got bitten by like a normal snake, like a normal garden variety poisonous snake from somewhere in Africa.
In
the Hyde Park.
London, in Hyde Park. It's not a naturally tenable position for an African snake.
Yeah, I thought so too. So I brought it to the zoo.
Yeah,
And
it's not out getting people now, is it? Then?
yeah, it seems like it's a thing that happens a bit more often in the last week or so.
When you looked at it, it didn't look like one of the snakes that came out of that bracelet that we were messing with, did it?
Did it? Did the snake?
Make
Did the
me
bracelet?
a natural world roll, please. See how well you know your snakes.
I'm not sure. I don't think the snake bracelet did very specific sort of snakes, did it?
I don't recall.
Could it be? But you still have that, don't you?
It's here in the society. Yeah, I don't carry it with me.
Do you know where it is? And I'll go take a look if it's still there.
It's up in the display case in the library.
Sure. I'll go check quickly.
The snake bracelet is still there, back in the glass case in the library.
All right, everything's fine. Not our fault.
How long would it take a
Looks like we
snake?
need to deal with these snakes sooner rather than later.
How long would it take a snake to get from Copperfields to London?
Depends if it catches a train. But
Like normally? Like a normal snake on the way? Forever.
the thing is, though, a lot of people do collect exotic animals. So it could be complete coincidence that there seems to be an increasing number of snakes.
Coincidence.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Coincidence doesn't seem to be a thing that works for us.
Well, it's true. But it could just be a complete coincidence, or it could be there's a snake plague going on, but it's very unlikely. I think it's more likely someone who collects snakes has perhaps had a delivery, or maybe they escaped. Who knows? But we'll have to see where the snake attacks are in the city, if they're all in the same park or the same area. But I don't know a great deal about snakes, to be fair.
We should also keep an eye out. I mean, I'd be surprised if this weren't making the papers. But if there are any other people that are experiencing transformation into snake people.
Disintegrating.
Yeah.
I think that would draw quite a few eyes. It's
Well, I
not
mean,
a normal thing to see.
No, but I've managed to keep Jeffries out of anyone's knowledge, except for us at this point. No one knows where he is.
It does seem rather strange, the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it does tie in with the missing people. Perhaps the missing people, that's what's happened to them.
Let's see what the doctor has to say. Maybe she has learned something that would be useful.
Yeah, Max, aren't you in need of a checkup at the clinic?
Yeah, I was at the clinic.
We need to go back and talk to Delphine.
All right.
Because I had asked her to come over last night to Jeffrey his his uh, his place. I had hoped she'd get there before he was completely beyond help, but he was dead. So, but she took the body back to the clinic, and she was asked me to come by today.
The lady that helped with my
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense. I've just been with like a normal, regular run-of-the-mill doctor.
Did you do a search of the house before you left, Mr. Graves?
Probably not as thorough as I could have.
We could split up. Some of us go and look into the doctor, and some of us investigate the home.
Okay, the front door is open. I mean, it's closed, but I didn't lock it, so you can get entry without any problem.
Okay, who's going to Dr. Delaney's clinic, and who's going to Jeffrey Palmer's house?
I think I will help with searching the house.
Yeah, and Delphine is expecting me, so I'll be going there.
I'll visit the snake clinic.
I'll go to the house.
Okay, so John and Mortimer are going to the clinic, and Maximilian and D'Angelo to the house.
I do have my gun and sword with me as well.
Is anyone else taking any weapons?
Well, Mortimer will probably just have his sword cane, nothing extraordinary, nothing obvious. That's just a walking cane to help him.
I'm not going to run around with a gun.
And John?
Oh, no, I'm just me. Nothing extraordinary.
Okay, well, we get back to the four of you in a moment. Before that, go back to Amos and Cecil Abernathy, who are heading to the Royal Victoria Hotel, looking for Miss Meredith Bell. You arrive. It's a very, very grand, respectable hotel. Got a big desk, nice foyer.
Mr. Abernathy,
Yes?
do you want to do most of the negotiation? Do you want me to chime in? I don't want. We have clear lines of delineation between our duties, but I don't know. How do you want to run this?
Oh, you know me. I'm more of a backroom legals person. I'm not.
Oh, I will take charge then. I understand.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you know what happened to my? You remember I wanted to be a barrister, could never stand to do public speaking, and standing up in court, worst nightmare. Like,
oh,
the best clients are the
Abernathy.
clients I never see.
I put my hand on his shoulder. I said, Abernathy, you never gave yourself enough credit. You've been tremendous at everything that you've ever done. And I don't want you to think that you couldn't be a barrister. I want you to know that you just chose to do what you do now because it suits you. Not that you weren't capable. But basically, I will just, if I'm doing something illegal, let me know. All right?
Oh, yes.
Yes. But let me know. Don't tell her that for leverage.
Definitely.
Every once in a while, I want you to lean in my ear and whisper, even if it's just like nothing. And I'll go, yes, yes, indeed. All right, this is how we will.
Okay, how do you want to approach this? We know that he's paying the bill for
Everything.
Room 12.
All right. Let's go.
There's a very smartly uniformed gentleman behind the desk.
Greetings.
Good.
I have a
Good
meeting.
afternoon, sir.
Salutations. May this day find you to be wonderful. I have a meeting with the guest in room 12.
Shall I send a message to Miss Holborn to meet you down here?
No, we'll go up there. Our client is actually paying for the room, so.
Generally, I'm going to want some sort of role here. Either some sort of charm or persuade or intimidate, if that's what you want to go for, or fast talk, depending on which approach you're taking here. Like, you're trying to, yes, your client is paying for the room, but will that be enough to get you past the guardian at the desk?
Yes, so could I maybe do a charm?
Yes, see if you can win this guy. I really shouldn't be just letting people into the hotel to go up to the guests' rooms, but
Extreme success.
if you work for the gentleman that pays the bill, then who am I to get in the way?
Thank you.
He's
You can
not
call them and
respectable
let them.
gentleman.
Thank you. You can call them and let them know that we're coming. But I mean, we subleasing the room through you. Whatever. Come on, Mr. Abernathy.
Go tell Miss Holden that guests are actually to expect guests. Yes, sir. We haven't fitted phones in all the rooms yet, I'm afraid.
I understand.
What's on the plans for the next few years?
It's okay.
So,
All right. When I get there, I do a very gentlemanly, firm, but not awfully loud knock.
come in.
Thank you, thank you. Open the door. Salutations.
Oh. Good afternoon.
I'm
And-
Amos Thompson.
You see, a rather respectfully dressed young woman with blonde hair done up very neatly, looking at you and Mr. Abernathy. She doesn't seem to recognize either of you.
Why, hello. I am Amos Thompson. I am an accountant, and this is Mr. Abernathy, Cecil Abernathy. He is an attorney, and we both work for the same client. The client who pays for this room.
Oh. Indeed.
Yes.
Well,
May we come
may
in,
I have
sit down?
assistance? Well, I was just heading out. I do
Oh,
have an engagement this
assure-
afternoon.
I assure you, you'll want to have this conversation with us. It'll be quite lucrative for you.
I'm expecting a gentleman arriving downstairs shortly.
Well-
So we must keep this very swift.
Let me ask you, what do you value more, the attention of a gentleman or a large lump sum of money?
Please take a seat.
Thank you. Thank you. That's right. So, see, one of the life lessons there is that money are disposable, and for some people, relationships are disposable, but yet money will help you find one more often than the other. So, I will be quick about this. We represent, you know who we represent, and you know the expenditures that he is paying for. Now, he is sick and unwell. I will be transparent, I will be honest, I will be forthright, and I will be honorable as it befits my station, your station, and Mr. Abernathy's. Be that as it may, you can understand the troubling nature that your existence has for him in regards to what is going on transactionally. So, we have come here to give you an offer, a wonderful offer. I have taken the calculations, and you'll see here, you can check my math if you want, as to what he is paying, for, quite frankly. And you can see that I've even accounted for cost of living increases and decreases based off of certain market fluctuations that have occurred in the past 3 years. I've averaged them out. Fair is fair is fair. Now, he is X amount of years old. Most men his age die at Y years. So I've taken that and I have prorated that. I've thrown in 10% for a nice lump sum of money. Now, in order to get this lump sum of money, you would be, well, signing a contract that states that you will no longer seek him out for any money, and you will agree that he no longer owes you anything past this amount of money. On top of that, there is this large sum of money. We will also pay out the average installments, which I put down on that piece of paper, for 1 calendar year as well.
So I signed this piece of paper. You give me money, and I never write to
Yes.
Mr. Gaskell again.
Yes, that is the long and short of it. I was just making sure that you knew it was fair. Right, Mr. Abernathy?
Yes, fair and legally binding.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. You see her here
Now
over
note.
the paper.
You'll find in the 3rd subsection, paragraph 2. you will disavow any and all claims of him being your father. I'm sure that he is, and he does love you, and he does want to have a relationship with you. But the reality of the situation, quite frankly, is a man of his station has certain things he has to protect. And his...
I know. All right, do you have a pen?
I have two. Before I give you the pen to sign, though, do you have any way of proving that you are Miss Meredith Bell? Not that I don't trust you, I just like to confirm.
I have letters that my father sent my mother. I have... Would that be proof enough?
You have any paperwork, anything that... such as that? Like birth certificate?
Copy of my birth certificate, I have that, yes.
Okay. I'm going to hand that over. Give that to Mr. Abernathy for a moment, and if you could give us a moment just to talk over a few details. I step up and I take Mr. Abernathy to the corner of the room.
You just fetch them from my bureau. I'll be back in a moment.
Okay, I'm going to keep an eye on her as she does that, but I'm also whispering to Abernathy, do you think the birth certificate is enough?
What are the
You're
proof
the
I
lawman.
possibly get from her?
I don't know. This isn't really what I do.
If her, look, there'll be a record of her birth. Other than just asking people, is this so-and-so? How else do you confirm that a person is a person that they say they are? Not like people carry around bits of paper telling people who they are. I mean, presumably, if she were to travel abroad, she might have some form of passport for
Well, we
travel,
can ask her for a passport as
most
well.
people don't have that.
Well, somebody as rich as her oftentimes does. Oh, is it Mrs. Bell, Madam? How do you prefer to be addressed?
Miss.
Miss Bell, do you happen to have a passport?
Let me just have a think about whether I would do. Nothing been invented. It's not
According
really
to Abernathy, they do.
maybe a bit of paper, more of a letter saying. Does she have any letters addressed to herself? I don't know what a passport is.
That's
we
very
really
good.
have not really invented the concept of identity documents yet. As a legal point, this is just an idea I had as a lawyer. It would be great if people had, like, now we've invented photography. We could have, like, you could have a picture of someone's face.
Abernathy, your theoretical ramblings are quite fascinating. Will this birth certificate do?
I mean, unless she stole it off someone?
Well, then that would make it fraudulent, and then we would sue her and put her in jail where she would likely die. That's fine. If this is what it is, then this is what it is.
You hear a knock at the door as you're having this conversation.
Oh,
Miss Holborn, your gentleman is waiting for you downstairs.
I'm going to open the door.
You see one of the hotel staff.
Why, hello.
Sorry, disturb your meeting. I just wanted to let Miss Holborn know that her gentleman is waiting downstairs.
Mrs. Who?
Miss Holborn.
Holborn?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. She'll be down shortly. Thank you.
Let me take your pen. I presume you're bearing witness to this, Mr. Abernathy. That's Cecil Abernathy, lawyer.
Mr. Abernathy, grab that pen for a moment. What was this? He's the bus man said that your name was Holborn?
Oh.
Not Meredith Bell?
I'm using a different name for the room. That's a small matter.
Abernathy?
There's nothing illegal about it. One can call oneself whatever one chooses.
Abernathy, I would like to confide in you. You are the lawyer.
Yes. I mean, it's not illegal to book a room under a different name.
Okay.
If it were, then there'd be a lot of adulterous couples who would be, well, they're already breaking the law, I suppose, but they'd be breaking...
I'm not I don't care about the legalities, Abernathy. I care about the fact that it could be an indication that she is not who she is saying is, which we just had a conversation about. If you're giving it the okay as the attorney, this would be the part that falls upon you, then that's fine.
I mean, also, but if she's not, I mean, depends if she signs the document as someone that she isn't, then
it's fraud. That's fine.
Yeah, it's fraud.
Okay.
It's not binding at all.
But
if she's not Meredith Bell,
but we're paying out the money. You might see how that would be an issue.
Yes,
for the
that would be an issue. Like, is she the person? Okay, I
Keeper,
see a series of questions here. Yes.
Keeper, there's a moment. One might think that Amos is suddenly changing into Augustus Scream. he takes a deep breath, and he says to Abernathy, Mr. Abernathy.
Yes.
Here is a pen. We are going to change the lump sum of money into just monthly installments. So in case that there is an issue, we can mitigate it.
Yes, let me just initial that. Yeah.
I'm going to do the calculations for you.
Oh.
So we're going to take the lump sum of money and then divide that by the months that we were doing. You follow.
Okay, you make the changes. I'll initial them.
Very
Are you
good.
gentlemen done?
Yes, we have now changed because there is an issue of legality. And I walk her through what we just went through.
And this would continue even if something were to happen to Mr. Gaskell? You said he was ill. Should I be worried about my continued future?
No, it would his estate. It would be binding through his estate.
Very well. He signs the document.
Okay. In triplicate. I put the lines there for. God. I know I should. I'm sorry. Okay. Now, Mr. Abernathy will send you a copy of this, in probably 3 to 45 business days. It's at his convenience, quite frankly.
And maybe you gentlemen will not be calling again?
Madam, I hope you take me as a gentleman that I try to be, but should we ever be in direct contact again, something has gone incredibly, incredibly wrong, and you will know why they have 2 nicknames for me. One is the gentlemanly accountant, and one is the angry gentlemanly accountant.
I will not trouble you again, sir.
That's good. I can be quite cranky.
Very well, let Mr. Plum know I'll be down shortly.
Who are you talking to? He left 3 minutes ago.
Bloody hell.
Are you...
I thought,
Listen,
sorry, I didn't realize you'd sent the,
Who are you
the
meeting,
staff
by
away.
the way? I'm just curious.
I
What's
believe
his
that's
name?
your business.
I know it's not, but sometimes I'm nosy. I'm just asking.
A respectable gentleman who has asked for my hand.
Well, I hope he gives it back. Abernathy, let us go.
Yes, and as you leave the hotel on your way out, you see a rather short, plain-featured gentleman with seemingly like a very sort of weaselly look and a voice that I can't do. It's grating on the ears.
Can I do a psychology check on him just because I
She
find
said
the whole
she's down here
situation?
shortly. Like,
Yes, she did. She did say
You
that.
can give me a
son.
psychology check on this young man, youngish man. To get a read on him. It's
How much luck would that be? 2?
2, yes.
I'll
What are you
spend the
trying
2
to tell
points.
about him? What?
Anything that I just find it. This is really just me being kind of nosy. Like, who would she be dating? Is she trying to bilk another rich person? That that
He
type
looks
of thing.
well dressed. He looks like he's got a decent amount of money, and he looks sort of worried, as though like
She's coming, son.
Oh,
She's
good.
coming. Is her what do you call her?
Wait, how do you know?
I'm a
Sierra?
businessman.
Oh.
I know who.
Theodosia.
Ask her about how Meredith Bell's doing.
Meredith Bell. I don't know Meredith Bell. I'll ask her.
Yeah, and what do you call her again? Theodosia?
Yes, Theodosia Holborn.
Keepers, you type that out for me. I don't know
If you
this
look at
spell.
Roll20, it is.
Okay, thank you so much. I always forget that. I am so sorry. Theodosia. Yes. Theodosia Holborn. Interesting. Okay. Well, son, maybe dinner's on her tonight.
Oh no. A gentleman always pays.
I've been a gentleman since you were in diapers, son. It's just a joke. Calm down. Life's too serious.
Yes.
Abernathy, come. And as we walk out of the hotel, I'm going to look at him and I go, she's a liar and a con, but we've done what we can to protect our client's best interest.
Yes.
And yes, it's suspicious. If he were in better
I've seen
health,
that man somewhere before.
Probably.
Put a finger on it.
you know what? That would be a rude thing for me to say. I won't say it because I do like you, Abernathy. Abernathy, you need a touch bit more confidence. Now, since I have done all of the work.
Oh, you get
you,
the bulk of the pay.
No, we'll split it 50-50. That's only proper. But take me straight to the LES, please.
I was going to say,
would
shall
like
we
to
go
meet
call
them.
upon the society?
I think we should. I'm wearing some of my finer clothes. I'm properly dressed, though. I know they're fancy. Is this proper attire for them?
They have definitely had guests wearing worse, by a lot worse. You're more than well dressed enough. Don't worry.
Okay. Also, I need more money. I have to take care of Gregory. That boy is.
I think you're a little hard on him. Just.
He bit his fork yesterday with no food on it. Or 2 days ago. He's just. A lot of it is nerves. It's just. I love him. He's like a son to me.
You're a
My
little
second
hard on
son.
him, and he just makes it's making him nervous. If you just.
His grandmothers keep dying, and he keeps coming up with horrible excuses to come to work.
Yes.
Lazy. To the society.
Okay, so the question is, does Amos arrive at the society before you've all headed out to your respective destinations, or after?
We would have ordered a carriage to come because there's 4 of us. So I don't know. How long would it take for us to get the carriage and everything we need to travel on?
Amos will probably be waiting for you when you get back. Assuming none of you die in your various escapades.
That would be very fortunate.
So yes, Max and D'Angelo, you get the carriage over to Jeffrey Palmer's house. And as John had said, the door is closed but not locked.
It's still open.
Yeah, I should probably unmute myself if I want to say something. I'll open the door and go in.
As you open the door, you see, the 2 things you notice in a moment. First of all, there are a lot of books. An excessive number of books.
Those are your...
Secondly, there's a smell, a mixture of pipe tobacco, old paper, and blood, and reptile house.
All right.
Angela removes a handkerchief.
A little dose of old
Go
man.
on his hands. Oh,
You
Let's
go look
split
for
up.
the books.
yes.
And I'll look for anything
keeper.
else, right?
What are you looking
Keeper.
for? Yes?
What are the book? What state are the books in? Are they neatly organized, or are they just kind of like haphazardly thrown about?
They are in, they filled all the shelves on the walls, and they're now stacked in stacks on various pieces of furniture. As you look around at them, you realise that, though at first this looks like chaos, this is organised chaos. Every single one of these excessive number of books is correctly organized and categorized by subject and author, all in the correct position.
I would like to see if I can find what he has most recently been reading. So I guess go through and see if there's any books that aren't in the right spot based on, I don't know, the Dewey Decimal System, but whatever we're using in the late 1800s.
We'll stick to the Dewey Decimal System, even if it's not, because, look, fighting with historical incongruencies is we've already had ballpoint pens and with a passport student do not exist, so I don't want to throw too much doubt in this. But yeah, give me a library use roll. Let's see what you can find.
I will spend the point of luck on that.
Okay. So as you're searching the books, Maximilian, what did you say you were looking for?
I'm looking for anything that looks out of place in like anything that I wouldn't expect at John's house, basically.
Okay. Make me a spot hidden as you make your way around the house. It's not a huge house. So downstairs with books, there's a very little kitchen with pantry, and a bedroom upstairs. You do a very thorough search around. His wardrobes are full of clothes. He's got a little dressing table with like beard trimming things and a little bit of like oil for oiling his magnificent beard. And a burnt stub of a candle on the nightstand. His sheets are sort of stained with sweat, and you do notice in the pantry, like a lot of spoilt food. It doesn't look like someone's been paying attention to that very recently. Lying sort of on the side of the countertop of the kitchen are like 2 shriveled up dead rats with large puncture wounds in them. It's like someone's kind of wrung out a rat.
All right. I guess that's. I'm gonna take him and put him like on a table somewhere where we. And keep looking.
There are some patches of shed skin, like layers and flakes of human skin in the wash basin upstairs, sort of congealing in the cooling water. And on the bedside table are 3 empty glass vials, little medicine vials.
I'm gonna take a sniff.
There's a tangy, very strong, almost I think. It definitely smells medicinal. There's alcohol in there. I think bracing, almost ether-like, but yeah. Simple glass vials. No label on them. The only mark is engraved into the little lids. It just says GDD.
All right. I'll take those with me. And if that's everything I've found, then I will pick down.
Okay, D'Angelo, you find that what Mr. Palmer has been most recently reading as a light bit of reading is I've got to check if this has been written yet now. Actually, that's not. No. Actually, you're gonna have to. You see the stacks of like sort of technical books, but it seems that he actually favours fiction for his own pleasure, his own reading. And you see he seems to be partway through Great Expectations, the omnibus edition of all the installments that were once printed in the newspaper many years ago.
Can I tell which pages he was on? Perhaps Is there a bookmark?
He is about halfway through. Or it's a bit past halfway through. You sort of open the page he was. Joe's just visited Pip at Barnard's Inn. You see, he's talking about messages from Miss Havisham.
Looking around, do I see anything that matches the initials of GDD? Perhaps any authors?
There's several authors, probably with the initials of GDD, but none of it seems related or relevant to this in any way.
I will slowly make my way back to the entrance. While keeping an eye out for anything unusual.
Okay, so yeah, you make your way back to the entrance where Maximilian has found those files.
I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything unusual. At least worrisome. He has a penchant for fiction, I suppose, but I don't think that's got him killed.
I found dead rats that looked like they'd been wrung out. I found like snake skin in a sink, like you know when snakes like grow and they shed their skin.
It was shed like snake skin, but it was human skin.
It was human skin that was okay. It was human skin in the sink that looked like it'd been shed like a snake. And I found those vials, 3 of them. And I'll hand them over. Do those mean anything to you?
Do I recognize them in any way?
Make me a medicine roll.
Oh, I have a 1 in it.
No, you don't recognize them.
Perhaps we can get to the doctor.
Yeah, he'll read.
Looking about the housekeeper, do I get the feeling, can I get a feeling of this person's mental state? Do they seem afraid? Do they seem, normal?
No, I mean, there's some signs that something was definitely wrong towards the end. There's also a considerable stain on the staircase. Oh god, that's like someone's feet. There's a finger. Oh yeah, there's a finger on the staircase next to this large stain.
Okay. Yeah. So the housekeeper's still around.
You're not aware of any housekeeper, no?
All right. I must have just missed that right now. There's a finger. There's a finger on the stairs next to that conspicuous blood stain.
I believe it is.
More of a blood and bodily fluid stain.
Fluid stain.
It once belonged to a librarian. Keeper, does the house seem the same size on the inside as it is on the outside?
Yes, it is exactly the same size on the inside as it is on the outside.
Fortunately, I don't see anything unusual. Well,
What kind of news?
Well, I didn't expect to see.
What are you expecting?
I don't see any signs of alchemy or books discussing transformation or anything like that, so my guess is our poor friend here did not know what he was getting himself into.
Hmm.
Is there anything else you wish to do at his house before leaving?
I mean, do you have anything left to do here? I don't think. There's a lot more to see here. I mean, there's the finger, and somebody wet himself probably when he lost them.
That this would be more the darkness speed, but oh, this is very disconcerting to be here.
Yeah.
Oh. If you are done here, I'm going to go over to... Yep.
As we are leaving, I would like to keep an eye out to see if there's anyone watching us.
Okay, give me a spot hidden, please.
Oh,
Wait. That person over there is definitely watching you. They've been staring at you the whole time.
Mr. Johnson.
Maybe that's just a trick of the light. Who knows?
Is that person paying us additional focus?
I'll take a look at the person. Are they watching us?
They've already walked past. They're down the other end of the road. No, they're not watching you.
No, I don't think so.
Let's go.
Okay,
Yeah, let's leave this disconcerting over here.
as you head off over in East London, John and Mortimer arrive at Dr. Delaney's clinic. And Dr. Delaney sort of sees you there, go, Delphine's waiting for you downstairs with the you know what.
Right. All right. Thank you. And then Mortimer and I head down. Unless he wants to stay up and talk to the doctor.
No, unless you have anything to do upstairs. There's a little there's a steep staircase, almost a ladder that heads down into the basement of the clinic. It's fixed wooden ladder, and it leads down to this cellar beneath, where sort of essentially like an apothecary, I've forgotten the word. The room place where medicines are mixed up. Pharmacy.
Pharmacy.
Yeah.
Laboratory.
Yeah. One of those thingies. Yeah. There's
chemist.
Chemist, bottles on the shelves, benches, all sorts of things laid out, and on a table in the middle of it, a dead body, which is currently seems to be in the process of being dissected. John,
Yes.
I'm going to ask for sanity roll from you, not from Mortimer, because this is not the first dissection that he has. Actually, no, I will ask for one from Mortimer, because although you've seen plenty of dissections, you have not seen Jeffrey Palmer and the horrible state he was in.
True, but I have seen a dissected snake person.
Yes.
And actually have a sample of their skin at my house.
But this is not a dissected snake person.
That's true. So, sanity roll?
Yes, please.
That's a fail.
You will lose 1 point of sanity. Looking at this, like, this is not a snake person. This, or at least, not like any snake person you've seen before. This is a man who seems to have been sort of partially dissolved, partially just fallen to bits. He's missing a couple of fingers, like chunks of his flesh are just sloughed away, along with strips of his skin. You can see in places there's sort of almost scaly patches underneath. But in many more places, it's just open, like flesh, sort of
Pretty much an abomination.
necrotized flesh. Yes, this is a corpse in a horrible state. If you didn't know better, you'd say it had been dead longer than since last night, and perhaps mauled or eaten in some places. But Delphine is standing over it in a dress and a blood and various other matters splattered apron, the sleeves rolled up.
Is there anything out of the ordinary in this room, being that I'm familiar with medicine?
You can see several bottles on the walls that are labelled in Macau. You can see, as well as normal sort of things you might find in a pharmacy, there's lots of substances you do not recognise in here.
That's okay. I'm not going to pry too much. I'm just expecting there to be some strange things.
There's like a distillation kit in one corner. It definitely seems to be a place for making medicines and chemistry as well as simply storing medicines. Excellent.
Ooh.
Well, as you can see, I've been having a little root around in your friend here.
I see. How's it going?
Fascinating and horrible in equal parts. You can see here from the state of his stomach. He holds up the particular organ.
Mm-hmm.
Much of it seems to be dissolved away. I would say that he's been consuming something he really should not have done. I'll get more on that later. And the changes seem to be rippled out from there. He was definitely not of serpentine nature before. This is a forced change.
I'd known him as human for decades before that. Well,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, this medicine, calling it a medicine seems wrong. More poison. Well, I'm not sure what it was intended to be, and I cannot be sure of all its components. It's very hard to work backwards from the finished product of something. There is definitely serpent venom and other natural extracts in here, but other synthesized chemicals I'm not familiar with. This is a fusion of sorts between the arts I am familiar with and modern chemistry I'm not as well versed in. I don't know what someone was intending to make here, but what they have made here is essentially a liquid that partially turns you into serpentine nature, then makes you melt from the inside out. Also compulsions of violence and bloodlust.
Okay. Do you think that was the intended effect, or?
I cannot be sure. That is what it seems to do. The two vials are not exactly the same, though. The mixture seems to differ slightly. I don't know if someone mixed it wrong or was attempting to change it.
Or perhaps there were stages in a treatment.
Maybe,
Meant
but
to be
if it's a
taken in
treatment,
sequence.
it is a failed one. Just look at that pancreas.
It does seem rather strange. How extensive was the transformation?
Global. Every fibre of his body had begun to change, and may have changed had it not then fallen apart.
I'm wondering if his age and poor health may have prevented it from following itself through for a full transformation. His body couldn't take it.
Mayhaps. All I can know is I would struggle to replicate this myself if I had to. I mean, not that I would wish to replicate this. This is something that should not. I can see no practical purpose for this substance.
Yes.
If one wanted to poison one's enemies, there are straightforward ways of poisoning them without first turning them into a fanged and murderous person.
Well, as I was telling Mr. Greaves, I can't believe it'd be possible to create some sort of hybrid reptile mammal. The two things do not work. You could theoretically create a combination of different mammals or different reptiles, but I can't see the biology is quite different. You'd need something new, completely new technology.
Or something old.
Possibly something rather exotic.
There are technologies far beyond what people here know.
That's true. I've been looking into a few things myself recently. I've taken on a study of a strange language as well, which seems to have some secrets I found, but unfortunately my understanding's not that good.
Well, that is very... I wish you the best with that. I'm sure that's delightful.
It's a strange old language, but there seems to be information on science and medicine in it, which is much more advanced than stuff I'm familiar with.
Oh, well, fascinating. Was there anything else I could help you with?
Well, has the body continued to decay since we picked it up last night?
Yes. Decay is perhaps not the right word. Dissolve, more like. There's a high acidic... Well, for some reason, the spleen seems to be producing hydrochloric acid. I'm sure that's not supposed to happen.
By my
in
understanding.
rather vast quantities.
Does
It seems to
seem
be
like
growing a new
variable
organ.
sperm.
It is truly intriguing what someone has achieved here.
But it seems odd that someone would do this purposely, because it would become, well, it's very, very public, and not something that you'd want. This is not the sort of thing you would think anyone would want to get out.
One would think not. But who knows? There are strange people out there in this world.
There are.
Certainly.
Well, would you like the body back?
Well, do you have... The thing is, I need to figure... We need to figure out... Well, you don't. I do. Have to figure out some way of writing the former Mr. Palmer off, because, well, he's going to be missed at the library. I don't know that he has any other family. But I will have to come up with some story to explain his passing.
Well, we cannot keep the body that long. I don't want the police coming by and
Understood.
getting my dear Samuel in trouble because we have a body in the basement.
Of course not. Do you have any recommended places it could be disposed of?
I do know of someone myself who might be able to help us.
Okay.
A gentleman who works at the morgue, who's dealt with unusual bodies for the society before. I suspect he'd be rather interested in this body.
Do you know if he would have any spare bodies that we could pass off as Palmer's?
Unlikely, but he would be a good person to help get rid of the body. But I'm not sure which way we wish to do about this, but it's best it's resolved as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Would you like...
I'd say within a day.
Yes. Would he be able to pick it up? Or do I have to arrange delivery?
I'm sure we can arrange something.
Yep, well, a delivery just didn't seem to be a problem last night. I'm sure we can come up with something.
Yes. Well...
Well, one possibility is we return the body to the property.
Mm-hmm.
And we could, I suppose, hate to say it, involve the police about your friend, but then again, they wouldn't understand it.
Well, it's in a very advanced state of decay, something that they wouldn't expect to have happened in a day.
Exactly. But they'd rather turn a blind eye and get a simple thing.
That is
true. If you leave
true.
it long enough, it might simply dissolve on itself.
Well, we don't want to leave you. We don't want to leave the problem with you.
Oh, no, not here. I meant, if you dig a hole, throw it in the river, dump it down the sewer drainage grate, feed it to... No, don't feed it to anything else, actually. That might end up badly. Burn it. I would suggest burning it, probably. One fears what might happen if too many... I don't know what happened if animals were to feed on his body.
It's a very good point. Also, yes, we'll come up with some idea anyhow. We'll
take it off your hands.
I'd say within a day or two.
Thank you very much for your assistance in this.
No, thank you for continued donations to my husband's clinic. It's much appreciated. You've allowed us to do a lot of good work here.
He does.
Thank you for your understanding.
Of course.
This is all very strange. Hopefully it's an isolated case, but I suspect it isn't.
You haven't heard.
Oh,
You
you can
have-
be received that it was not contagious. Whatever happened to him is no form of disease.
No, it's more. There seems to be a large number of missing people. That could have been earlier experiments of the substance. That is what I'm concerned about. But we shall probably best look into this and try to stop this experimentation. Because, well, it's causing problems and deaths.
Yes.
You
Wow.
you haven't heard of anything in this area, anything similar or disappearances.
Disappearances, if you recall your friend Mr. Williams, I believe they were mentioned. I can't remember. Someone mentioned them yesterday. I can't remember who exactly did. People have been disappearing around these parts. A few people.
It'll be best we look into it and see if we can put an end to these disappearances. But unfortunately, London is one of those cities where people disappear in all the time.
Especially around these parts.
Yep. Unfortunately, so.
Do you still? Is he still on the sheet that we had wrapped him in originally, or?
Yes, you can see the sheet is still there.
Okay, I guess we can use that then. If we wrap him up, he won't soil the rest of the laboratories off in the
Well,
corner.
I can find somewhere to keep him. That's not the worry. It's more that I don't want to keep him too long.
Okay.
His smell attracts trouble.
Mm.
If you would understand that I do not wish for the authorities to take too much interest in our operation here.
Oh, we're quite familiar with that. We don't like them taking interest in what we do as well. So
Exactly.
we will make sure this is off your hands as soon as possible.
Thank you. Well, I better go assist my husband. Good day, gentlemen.
Right, good day. Thank you.
We should be making our way back.
Okay. So you two are making your way back to the society. And yes, you and the other two arrive more or less at the same time. But as you're shown in through the door, James goes, sirs,
Yeah?
you have guests.
What sort of guests?
I put the, you know Cecil Abernathy, the lawyer, your lawyer?
Yes, I know him quite well.
He
I used to help
arrived not
him.
long after you left. He's in the parlour with a gentleman he doesn't know as an accountant he wants you to meet.
What sort of accountant?
An accountant? Just an accountant? I said you were out. Just thought I'd give you the warning in case. I can tell them that you're.
No, we may
No?
as well go see them.
Okay.
No, it's okay.
Okay. I'll go and let them know you're arrived.
Thank you.
And Amos, you arrived a couple of hours ago. And the butler who met you at the door told you that the gentlemen of the society were out, but due to arrive back shortly. And would you mind waiting in the parlour?
Which I absolutely did.
And you've been shown up through this slightly old-fashioned for the era, but well-furnished house with panels, portraits on the walls. And you caught a glimpse as you passed by into on the down ground floor, a respectable-looking library with a glass case of objects, and up the stairs to the parlour. There's a portrait of a rather respectable-looking gentleman who... Sir John Wallace is his labelled on the frame.
I knew of him, but I didn't really know him. I might have met him once or twice at a social event.
Yeah.
But I liked him well enough.
He was a respected philanthropist, historian, and jolly good fun.
And as Amos is a bit of a philanthropist as well. I do stop and almost pay my respects at the painting. It's gone too soon. Gone too soon.
Yes, as you wait, a maid brings in tea and a plate of cakes and scones.
Scones. Interesting.
Yes. Gives a kind of slight bump of a curtsy that's not very polite or respectful. She kind of stares at you as well a bit more and is it appropriate for a maid sort of eyeing you up and down, weighing you in the balance before she heads out.
Abernathy.
Yes.
Got a good feeling about this place.
Yeah, it's a decent place. I'm surprised that Miss Smith. She was the late Miss Carter's ward. She's usually around, but it seems she's out today. She's lovely young woman.
Oh, it's good for young people to be out and about. They are our future. It's good for them to get experiences.
Yes, and Miss Plum is her chaperone, her companion. She's usually around.
Sure, she's quite nice.
She's an acquired taste.
No. Very good.
Oh, I think that was the door downstairs. Yes. The butler arrives to let you know that the gentlemen of the society have returned. And
excellent.
A moment later, 4 individuals are ushered into the room. It's with the 4 of you and Amos and Cecil. It's almost getting crowded in here. This is perhaps the upper limit of how many people the parlour can comfortably contain. That's James leaves and Cecil makes introductions. Gentlemen, this is Amos Thompson, very well-respected accountant. Amos, this is John Greaves, librarian at King's College, D'Angelo Williams, the author, Mr. Maximilian Johnson, the raconteur over the Pacific Club, tells some fascinating stories.
I've been meaning to go there. I don't get out as much as I used to. That's fascinating. Well, gentlemen, I'm Amos Thompson, and it's a pleasure to...
Dr. Davenport. Not seen you in a while, Davenport. How are you doing?
Dr. Davenport.
Not too bad. Been keeping busy. But
bookstore owner?
Everyone turns up at once.
So nice to meet all of you. Well, I don't think that my profession's nearly as interesting as what you do here, although oddly enough, I did meet somebody pretending to be somebody else earlier today, so maybe I am a bit of a mystery solver myself.
Perhaps you can give an accounting of yourself.
Oh, very good, sir. Well, I suppose I should. My name is Amos Thompson. I'm trying to wind down my years into retirement, keep my children fed, and keep the charity work that I do going. And I'm looking for new clients. And I had a bit of work today with Mr. Abernathy, and he suggested that because your books are complicated with all the comings and goings and the financial expenditures and donations that you all do, that maybe one set of eyes on everything, the comings and goings, would be useful. And I don't mean to brag, that's not very gentlemanly, but my success does in a way speak for itself, and I just like to offer my services. And I have some paperwork here about my rates, and those are all negotiable and stuff, but just as a starting point. And also, thank you for having me.
Yes, he is very good, and your accounts are very complicated.
Well, you've worked yourself for the Society for a number of years, and I trust your judgment on people in matters certainly like this. I know you had handled a great deal of the Society's accounts, but you're a lawyer by profession, not an accountant. And it is probably a fair assumption we could do with an accountant. So if he comes by your recommendation, then I see no issue myself.
Good, well, I can deal with the legalities of the contract, and I assure you I will make sure that all the payments are fair, and I don't want to take advantage of the society in any way. That would be outside of my role as a trustee, and it is my duty to act in the best interest of the society. Yeah, is there anything else to discuss here? I'm surprised to see all of you here. Is there something afoot?
There might be. There are plenty of feet. We each have 2.
Ah. Well.
Bit of a reunion, you could say.
Well, I trust it's a happy one.
Possibly a new case, but that is going to be a problem for us to look into. A new puzzle.
Indeed. Well, unless is there anything else we need to discuss here? Any other business?
I guess I could. Thank you, Cecil. I guess I could tell them about our.
Oh yes, they'd be interested. Actually,
with Theodosia.
They're probably just be able to ask, like, not legal experts, but when it comes to mysteries, I've actually found a mystery of my own. Well, Amos found it.
we have a client who somebody came in without giving away too many details. Somebody came into their life or back into their life, and they've been being subsidized. And then we found out when we visit them, they try to try to tidy things up between that they were saying that their name was Meredith Bell, and then somebody referred to them as a Theodosia Holborn.
Really?
Yeah, it was the darndest thing, and it threw us for a loop because we had to figure out, like, what's her real name, and can we, get enter contract with this person?
Isn't that the name of the woman Madam Plum wanted us to look into?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. What did she meet any? Was there anyone that she was with that you could describe to us?
I don't want to be rude, but there was this man who was kind of Weasley and rather unpleasant, and Abernathy, you're better at being mean than me to describe.
That's where I knew him from. It's Gerald Plum. Knew I'd seen him somewhere.
Gerald, so that is Miss Plum's family.
An acquired taste, yes.
And you said this woman was related to your client, wasn't?
Theoretically, yes. The client had a child out of wedlock. Didn't know about it until years after the fact. Child comes back in as a... Abernathy, would it be fair to say she's somewhere between 18 and 25? It's hard to tell.
Yes, that seems fair enough.
And is blackmailing, is what the client says. Didn't seem to be far-fetched based on the state of the books, which I do have with me, but I can't quite turn them over. But she definitely was. She was charming. She was incredibly smart, smart as they come, both intellectually and with people skills. Smooth. Very, very capable person, and seems to be able to navigate person from person. And it's financially prudent. I would take her, if you have any dealings with her, very seriously.
She should be a professional con artist.
Yeah. Is Plum in residence, or is she with Elsie?
She's currently out with Elsie.
Okay.
It does sound an interesting mystery, a puzzle to look into.
Oh, well, I know where she. Oh God, it feels so creepy to be like, well, I know where she stays. Oh, Lord, but I do. It's the.
It should be okay as long as you've not been to her rooms.
Oh dear, I've been needing a shower lately. Yes, that's where we went to do business with her. And oh, that sounds bad. Abernathy. Oh, help me out here.
We were invited to speak with the young lady in her rooms on a legal matter.
Thank you.
And her father,
So
is he
she entertained you in a room.
around?
Oh, Dr. Davenport, please stop. You're making me feel like I need to go to church.
I think... Amos, did you say her father was ill? Or the man that she claims is her father?
Yes, very, very ill.
What was he ill with?
Well, I'm not a doctor, but I he had a certain bad look of his skin, very weak. Even talking was difficult. Been fighting it off for several weeks at a time, although he was not very forthcoming with details. His poor wife came to my place of business, and
I'm
brought me the books.
not that bad as a doctor. I could always take a look at him. I've usually dealt with rather exotic illnesses and ailments. I might be able to work out what it could be.
Yes, because his doctors kept saying, it sounded like they were giving him the runaround. It sounded like they had no earthly idea as what they were doing. It pains me a lot. It reminds me of when my wife was dying, although we knew what was killing her. Just that there was nothing that could be done for her at the time, at least anything that I could afford. I could call him, or Abernathy could call him and offer your services if you are okay with that, doctor.
Check and have a look, because I have dealt with unusual illnesses in different countries. I've spent a long time abroad in Constantinople and India and Africa, and I've travelled around a bit, so I might have an idea of unusual illnesses or ailments that might have been missed by a common doctor.
You didn't have any strange
On
vials.
you. I have a bit of knowledge of the mind, and oftentimes as the body goes, the mind does as well. Perhaps there's...
Do you have a background in psychology, Mr. Williams?
I am not too bold to say I am one of its foremost experts. At least
I
this area of
studied
the
a little
world.
bit.
Also one of its most humble experts.
Interesting. Well, I think I'll leave that to Mr. Abernathy.
Yes. Sorry, you said my name.
Yeah,
don't doubt if I remember that.
It's okay. I know you've had a long day. We were talking about the facilitating of Mr. Williams and Dr. Davenport going, and then I might as well meet him. We need to meet him as well, though I suppose I could do it to tell him what's going on.
Yes, I do have another meeting this afternoon.
Do you want me to handle it, and then I can call you?
Yeah,
okay.
You can call me at my office. I mean, Mr. Gaskell employed you in the first place, so.
Yes, very good. Well, thank you. I suppose I will sit here with these gentlemen, and again, could you please call him quickly and see if we could maybe do this today, if everyone's time works?
Yes. May I use the Society phone, gentlemen? I'll pop downstairs and give him a call. I'll be back in a moment.
So you're an accountant, huh?
Yes. I have a little bit of a background in psychology, and I'm a bit of a history buff, but how I support my family is accounting.
Very important.
It's a lot of people. Oh, a lot of people hate math, which I understand, but it's served me well.
I've got an understanding of accountancy, not to obviously your level of expertise, but I ran my own business for some time. I used to handle my own accounts, so I have a basic understanding of some accountancy. But
you owned a bookstore, right?
I did. I still technically do, but we're no longer trading. I've moved away from selling books to focus more on medicine.
Well, I see that you are. It's good to be able to use all of our talents. I think if you want any help closing your accounts, pardon the pun, or anything with help with tidying things up, I would do that since I'm taking on this for free. It's boring. I know it's boring, but I was never much of the adventuring type like you all seem to be.
No.
Basically have to subsidize my. You don't care. My personal story doesn't matter. Hopefully, Mr. Abernathy will get back to us soon.
Gentlemen, sorry to interrupt. I called over to the Gaskell residence, spoke to the butler there, Peters or something like that. He says that Mr. Gaskell's got worse. That they fear he might not have. His doctor says he might not have much longer to live, and that if you wish to speak to him, you had best hurry.
Yeah, all right. Well, can we go now, if that works for you, gentlemen?
By all means.
Okay.
Well,
Abernathy, I might have to hand over our paperwork and have the conversation with his wife, but
Yeah.
given his state, I'll let you know.
Okay. Yeah. Let me know. Give me a call or call by later. If not, I'll pop by the office tomorrow.
I'll call you. I would have Gregory do it, but the boy does his best.
Yes. I think phones unnerve him.
He almost strangled himself with one once. To be fair to him, he didn't know that he was...
Anyway, I will give me a call later.
Yes.
Okay. Is everyone going with?
Yeah.
Okay, so you get in. You can just about fit all five of you into the carriage.
Yeah, I'll sit up front. It's fine.
Yeah, a little bit of a squeeze, but you do all fit in. And you head over. It's not too far to the Gaskell residence. There's already a few people around as you arrive at the house. Another doctor. They're just leaving in the hall, going, if it gets any worse, give me a call, Mr. Gaskell. Yes, I will. Oh, dear God, we have company. Mr. Thompson. I didn't realize you were bringing so many other people.
Well, I understand. This is Dr. Davenport. He's a specialist. This is Mr. Williams. He's also a specialist as well. John Greaves is a master librarian, very well read, and Maximilian is referred to as a general genius. So I brought some top minds.
Good.
To help.
Patience Gaskell, it is a pleasure. My husband is just upstairs.
Please lead the way. We'll have to do what we can to help him and see what we can find out what's going on.
That way, Cordelia. This way. She ushers you upstairs to the sick room, where you can see a man leant back against the pillows. You see he looks a lot worse than when you saw him yesterday. His skin pallid, almost greenish in places, like slick with sweat. The sheets around him stained with sweat. There's a smell in the air, mixture of them.
Did they close the windows?
Generally, the windows are still open, but there's still a smell in the air, and mixed with smell of vomit and illness, and it's unpleasant.
It's not reptile-like smell, is it?
Give me a spot hidden, the sniff test. Hard to be sure. There's perhaps a little tang of it underneath. But all right, what is everyone doing? Maximilian and John, you do notice, yes, there's a little hint of reptilian musk underneath there.
All right.
Just a hint, not very strong. It's buried underneath the other smells, but there's a little hint of it there.
Does it seem to be coming from Mr. Guest?
It's hard. It just kind of pervades the space. It's hard to
Room.
be sure without getting up there and like sticking your nose in him and sniffing him. You
Seems like it's,
can't tell.
seems like it's infectious. If he's, pulling through, he might have a similar problem than the one that bit him.
Are you saying this aloud?
I mean, I'm gonna be like under my breath, but loud enough that the others can hear.
I will. Just looking over the scene of this patient. Am I able to see? Clearly, he's physically sick. But what does his mind look like? Is he? What's the word? Coherent?
I mean, it's
Is he
hard to tell
coherent?
because he's barely conscious. He's sort of muttering
Okay.
under his breath. Maybe a listen roll, if you wish, to try and catch what he's saying as he sort of murmurs under his
I'll
breath.
just do a general medical
Yeah.
check to try and
Yes.
work out what's wrong with him. Probably
Yeah.
compare it to things I've seen, possibly things we've seen recently.
Give me a medicine roll. Is this a proper examination of him, or just a look from a distance?
For examination, yeah.
Proper Okay, you lean over Pierre, looking at his body. The first thing, you can see no wounds. There's no evidence of any bite marks. It's not an illness you recognise. And you're sort of carrying it against.
Poison.
You think more likely to be some form of poison than an illness. You're not sure. It's not a poison that you've seen before. Whatever's wrong with him, whatever is affecting him, is not something you're familiar with. But you don't think it's necessarily. It doesn't seem to be any kind of contagious illness that you're familiar with.
Would I have any idea how to, thinking of it, treating it as a poison rather than a disease, would I know of a way to really purge the poison from
You
its
know
body?
some possible ways, but whether they work or whether they work fast enough, he's already looks very declined. Whether you know that even with your medical skill, it would take a minor miracle to save him at this point. You'd have to be very.
And while Mortimer's examining, can we look around the room to see if there are any of those vials that we'd seen at Jeffrey's house? Are they somewhere next to his bed or anything?
Give me a spot hidden.
I can't use the last one I rolled, could I?
No.
It was a really good one. It's worth
Yeah.
trying.
I mean, that one shouldn't really count anyway. I didn't ask you to roll it.
Caper's mean.
Yes. No vials. No vials that look exactly like what you saw. You do see actually there are a couple of medicine bottles, like pill bottles on the bedside table. Are you taking a closer look at them? Going.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're different size. They've got little pressed pills in them rather than having clear liquid. But you have, and these have got proper labels on explaining what they are. I don't know enough about Victorian medicine to propose what they would be, but they are labelled properly. One thing you do notice is there is an engraving on the lids of these jars.
GDD?
GDD.
Okay. All right. I'll wait for Mortimer to finish his examination and then point that out to him.
Yeah, it
I
does.
don't think he is. I think he is beyond psychological help, unfortunately.
Don't think he's got long with us at all. But it does strike me it's more a poisoning rather than a disease.
Oh no! Do you think the Odasia poisoned him?
I don't know, but I don't recognise. I don't think people to recognise the medicines he's got.
The ones that he's got on the bedside table. Oh, yes. Give me a medicine roll.
Let's see. How's it?
Keeper,
Should be
do
okay as long
I,
as I don't
with
Yes, you
With my
recognise what they
occult-
are. Mortimer. They are perfectly normal medicines for what you take treated. But what you also recognise is the engravings on the top of the bottles.
And do those
You've
engravings...
seen many bottles engraved with these things over your time in the last couple of years, working in the hospital.
Yeah.
These are bottles manufactured by Gaskell's Drugs and Dyes.
Oh. Ah. Now that's very interesting.
Yeah, Angela. Remember those vials you found?
Did I have those, or did you?
I mean, I took them with us. I don't remember if I gave them to you or... Let me just... I'm going to pull them out. We found those in the house we were looking through. I'll hand them over.
These initials tie in with the company that manufactures them. Gaskell's company, in fact.
Oh dear.
Did you speak to the wife to see if he has basically made any new business decisions?
When I looked at the books, now what she gave me, it's possible that she didn't give me everything, but by the books that I have, and they're quite extensive, I didn't see anything. And the only thing I saw that was out of order was what Abernathy and I went to address today. But I suppose I could poke around, or actually, Keeper, could I like sit back, recollect? Maybe I have the books with me, go over them, and see if there's anything out of order that I might not have caught the first time. Because when I was looking at the first time,
you did a very good job the first time through. So you read everything. You checked through everything. So you know that he was running this dyes business. A couple of years ago, they went into drugs manufacturing as well.
Okay.
You know you know what they're buying in. That they're buying in various supplies to make. Essentially, they're running a chemical plant. On a smallish scale, they're running a chemical plant on the south bank of the river.
So there is nothing. There is nothing that can make. Gotcha. Go ahead. Sorry.
I haven't finished yet.
I apologize.
Yeah. You know that they're buying in chemicals, they're selling dyes, and they're selling medicines, they're supplying various hospitals. You know, so essentially they've got this building they own on the south bank of the river. And you know that the main things where the money was going, outside of payments to Meredith Bell, was also to the research and development department.
The research and development department's really maybe the only thing that I could try to look into later. Yeah, maybe something about the research and development part, but
you would see that it was that was headed up by a Dr. Alistair Forbes.
Dr. Alistair Forbes, okay. Any of you know Dr. Alistair Forbes?
Do I?
No, it's not a doctor you're familiar with.
Not a practicing surgeon in the hospital I've been in.
No, perhaps not even that sort of doctor at all.
Exactly. There are so many different types.
Have I heard of them in the halls of academia? The occult, perhaps?
Not in your field, no.
Had you a history check on them?
You can give me a history check, but probably
it's a long shot.
Unlikely to. No, not someone that you've read about, someone that you've heard of.
It does seem
Keeper.
Yes.
That
with
you first.
Good. With my knowledge, do I recognize the symptoms of this as any poisons that I've ever heard of in either the occult or?
No. Mortimer?
Yeah, I was just going to say, it does seem that this does seem to be tied in with a strange experiment of sorts. The only way I think we could treat this man would be to somehow purge the poison from his body. Unfortunately, I think it's too far gone to save him. So he might not survive that, but I can try and keep him alive as long as possible. But I think the only way we'll find a solution to this is through the research and development, and see if we can tie in these drugs and see if they're doing something with possibly serpent venom or different types of serpent venom, which actually could tally in with the strange thing you mentioned, Max, about a snake you encountered recently as well. Seems to be a large number of snakes cropping up around London for some reason. So,
Well, as we are coming to a close for this evening, as you have tied together some of the pieces, Mortimer potentially has some plans that might work for the medical treatment. As for where else you go next, that I'm afraid will have to wait till next week, because the clock has ticked past 11 here, and I fear that if we set off and further investigations, it will be past people's bedtime.